Hello, hello, and welcome to the Women Who Rock Business Summit 2026. It is day 5, and we are so delighted to be with you today. Welcome. Hi, Julie. Hi, Linda. Hi, Lisa and Sabrina, Fanny, Donna, Phil. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Leanne and staff and Roxy, Dr. Zulmara. We're so glad you're all here today for a really powerful day 5. Hello, I love it when your cameras come on. Good to see you again, Dr. Zulmara. Hi, Donna. Good to see you. So I would love to just welcome anyone who wants to drop in the chat, remind us where you're tuning in from, and if you've got a hot takeaway from me yesterday, or from any of the days that we've been together, it's a great opportunity to just weave together this International Women's Week. We've stretched out International Women's Day to be a week-long celebration of women and skills and tools to help you get your message out into the world. Hello, Galen. So glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. That's right. Dr. Zulmara's bringing us the Southern California vibes. Galen's bringing us the PNW. That's what we West Coasters call the Pacific Northwest. Susie Jones, hello and welcome. Good to see you. Hello, I see you, TSF. Do you want to change your name so we can see your name and call you what you'd like to be called? I love it. I see your big thumbs up and your radiant smile. Welcome. Yes, Galen, I see you are loving everybody's Facebook posts. They are incredible. I see all these day 4 CTAs. They are still coming in. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Serena and Steph, Leanne. It is day 5 of our Women Who Rock Business Summit. We are going to have some incredible training tips for you around building your freedom business. If you're just joining us, I'm going to welcome you to pop in the chat. Where are you joining us from, or what have you been loving this week of being with all these incredible women? Yes, Dr. Zulmara, I see you've been loving the Facebook posts too, learning so much from all of these incredible, powerful women who have joined us and are playing full out. I see so many of you who are popping in for all the CTAs. Welcome. Hi, Cheyenne. Great to see your beautiful face popping on. Welcome. Roxy's bringing us those Golden Gate vibes too this morning. Good to see you. Hi, Amanda and Tanya. Welcome, Catherine and Sherry. Hi, Corey. Hi, Fanny and Fran and Jackie. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Jan. Pamela McKenzie's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Bonnie. It's so fun to see all your faces coming on. If your camera's not on and you want to pop it on, it is so fun to get to be together. There she is, Tanya. I see your beautiful face and your name now. Hi, Kim. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I see Sabrina giving Coach Cheyenne some love. Made her day yesterday. What a gift. We get to keep contributing to each other's days and businesses and lifting each other up. Pop a yes in the chat if it's been amazing to have sisters commenting on your posts and lifting you up. Are you enjoying getting to play in the CTAs and get lifted up by your sisters, these incredible women who 5 days ago you didn't even know, and now you've got this incredible women rocking business community. Thousands of women strong, incredible, and some really incredible men as well. Hi, Bridget, welcome. Charmaine, good to see you. I see you on the move, but here, commitment in action. This is what it looks like. Beautiful. Siobhan, great to see you. Hi, Diana, Annette. Hi, Sam. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, Pamela's bringing us the beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. Give me a little sparkle into the screen if you're in the beauty of the day. You are feeling it, feeling the magic. Yes, I am right there with you. Hi, June and JS. I could do some imagining. There she is, Jenny. Hi, Maria. Welcome. Yeah, if you are just joining us and you want to pop into the chat, what's something that you've been really enjoying from our days together here? This is our 5th day of the Women Who Rock Business Summit. It has been incredible to see you all playing in the CTAs, filling up that Facebook group with so much inspiration and positivity and possibility. So many incredible talks coming into form and messages. Hi, Diana, joining us from Colorado. I love it. Jenny says, everything. This has been life-changing. That is making my heart sing to hear that. We put a lot of love and time to create something just super empowering and powerful for you. So I love that it's landing. The brand alchemist, she's getting some clarity. We love it. Well, Sam, we're glad that you are coming in to get some inspiration from a very rainy Yorkshire. So good. Hi, Jane. Okay, you're Jackie. You can't change your name. We got you. Jackie, aka Jane. Erica Neely's in the house. Good to see you, Coach Erica. And Rita Berry is back. We are so happy that you have joined us this week. Wonderful to see your radiance. Vortex of Gear, Ro Watkinson in the house. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Diamond. Good to see you. I see you. Great to have you back in the mix this week. All right, y'all, it's almost the top of the hour. Grab your workbook and your water. Get yourself ready. It is day 5. It's that moment, top of the hour. If you are here, you don't have your camera on yet, I'm going to invite you to pop your camera on so that we can all lean into the camera, see all these incredible, radiant humans joining us, women from around the world, and a few incredible men as well. Hi, Susan. Hi, Janice. Hi, Donnell. She's bringing in that purple hair. I love it so much. Hi, Diane. Megan Neely's in the house. Welcome, welcome. We are so delighted to welcome you to the Women Who Rock Business Summit 2026. It is day 5. And one last time this week, let's play that video that our community made for you. Dance it out for 30 seconds together, and then we are going to have a really incredible day together. I love kicking off our day with all of those high vibe and incredible women. And what an incredible week we have been having. We have had so many powerful, inspiring speakers this week. We've heard from Lisa Nichols speaking on our soul, Mary Morrissey and Jennifer on holding our clients' dreams. We heard from Claire Zammit. She was talking about the feminine path to leadership. Marcy Shimoff, she brought us some wisdom on creating a miraculous life and business. And we heard from Sage this week talking all about how to craft your talk, the sales process. And today's going to be amazing. We are going to be hearing from JJ Virgin, Susan Pierce Thompson, and more from our incredible Women Rocking Business team. And this week, let's just talk about where we've been. So, on day one, we were talking about speaking to have impact, right? We were talking about what's that one expensive problem that your people are going to gladly pay you to solve, and really learning how to position yourself. And then on day two, we were talking about the art of sacred selling, right? And giving you some structure for a high integrity enrollment blueprint so that you could close that gap and create high ticket sales. And then on day three, we were talking about thought leadership, learning about your strengths and weaknesses of your speaker archetype and the energies to naturally magnetize your potential clients. And then on day four, yesterday, you talked about crafting a talk, getting that proven framework so that you can create a client attracting talk so you've got financial sustainability. And today is day five, and we are talking about freedom and self-care and profit so that you can claim your next level of freedom and profit with some awesome mindset shifts. And I want to remind you that you can watch the replays all the way through Sunday on the All Access page. So, Izzy, will you pop that page up for us one more time? So you all know, you know and love this page by now, I'm sure. So it's going to be up until Sunday. And on this page, you can catch the replays from each of the days, the speakers' full interviews, and that's going to be up for today's Thursday, another 3 days. So I'm going to invite you, if you missed one of these days and you want to catch the wisdom and the training, that you put some time on your calendar and come on back to the All Access page so that you can stay connected to this incredible community and all this wisdom. And thank you, Izzy. I love it. All those buttons at the top. And I am so excited. It is that time again on day five where we get to take a moment to welcome to the stage the one and only incredible Sage Levine. So honored to be here with you today, Sage, for day five, for another powerful day. Thank you
Mm.
for creating another beautiful day of training for these incredible women.
I'm pretty stoked for this day because this is the day where a lot of what you've been diving into this week really come together. And so I want to acknowledge the most important person in the room right now, who is you, especially those of you that have either been attending these live sessions or watching the replays all the way through until the end. Like, I just want to invite you to take a deep breath and acknowledge yourself for showing up for your dream. And thank you, Deborah, and thank you to my team. I just invite you to pop a few hearts on the screen in honor of this community and in honor of, gosh, my team has really, like, we've never really done an event like this before as my team. So you can imagine we've been stretching over here too. And I know many of you have been stretching over the course of the week to really stretch into, what you want to bring to the world. What's your message? Who are you here to serve? And just pop a yes in the chat if that in and of itself has stretched you. Pop a yes in the chat if you've had any kind of an aha moment this week in terms of what you're capable of. And pop one more yes in the chat if you can feel how resistance unfailingly points true north. Like I was able to easily manifest everything in my life, and my dreams, like, says nobody, right? Like, as soon as those dreams start to really emerge and get clear, and the visions, right? Like, we are going to stretch into them. And that's where invoking our power and having this community is so essential. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for choosing this, for being here. And thank you for generating, gosh, we're up to over $29,000 for the girls. We're actually just like $308 shy of $30,000. So pop a few more hearts on the screen if you feel proud to know that we're going to be providing a couple of months of services to thousands of girls. They're going to get training, they're going to get education, they're going to get to stay in school. And Vivian sent me another message just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so, so, so stoked. And you guys can keep sharing and keep spreading the word about that. I want to just also take a moment to acknowledge a few of our incredible sisters in this summit. There's so many of you that I could acknowledge, but I'm just going to say a few names. Becky Adams, thank you for helping women with eating disorder recovery. Like, that's so needed. Kelly Jones helps high-performing women transform anxiety. So many of you are here to help transform anxiety and stress in the world. Pop a heart on the screen for every single woman in this room who's here to really bring healing and to transform some of the stress and the real contraction that so many people are living with in this world right now. Allison Fink, I love what you do. Allison supports young athletes. Our young athletes need support because these are some of our future leaders of this world. Karen Kohler is bringing outdoor fitness in an ecological way. Helena uses EFT tapping, one of my favorite modalities, to transform stress. Dawn is bringing her love of travel into the world. The world needs adventures right now. Can we have a and a yes for that? Amy Norman is helping women who have really gotten lost in midlife. Dawn is helping women and people return to their kind of spiritual God selves and their God-given genius. Pascal's supporting women of faith. I want to invite you guys to just go ahead and click on gallery mode in the upper right-hand corner if you've met somebody amazing this week. And I'm going to invite you to just put your face in the camera, and let's just give a wahoo for every single one of you here who has showed up, who's got a gift to give, who's supporting people in their healing journeys, their relationship journeys, their career journeys, their business journeys. I'm kind of blown away. Are you guys kind of blown away? Like, are you kind of blown away by the caliber of women who are here? So I just want to invite you to take a breath. Can you guys see each other? You guys click on gallery mode. Can you guys actually see each other right now? Just give me a little nod if you can actually see each other. So let's just get kind of still inside ourselves for just a moment, right? Taking a breath if that feels good. I just want to invite us all to remember that the crazier the world gets, we have one more day together. We're going to be talking about freedom and profit. The crazier the world gets, the more important it is that we can find that place of stillness inside ourselves and share that with other people. I just want to invite you to send a sparkle finger if you're willing to take the love that we've generated into this room and send it out to your future clients. Send a sparkle finger if you want to surround every single woman here with courage and faith and love and belief in herself. And let's take all of that and send it out to the Middle East and send it all around the world to people impacted by everything that's going on. And I just give great gratitude that we were able to be here, right, in this kind of safe container this week, while the rest of the world can be really imbalanced. So please, if you're willing, on the count of 3, I'm going to invite you to unmute yourselves and just really cut loose and just give us like a big, deep yeah for women standing for our healing gifts now. 1, 2, 3. Ow, ow, ow.
Oh, bring the healing.
So much love. Love.
So I know some of you guys are feeling sad. I feel the sad faces in the chat. Okay, so one more sparkle finger if you're willing to make today count. One more sparkle finger if you're willing to take this love and multiply it. In the phrase of my dear friend Reverend Deborah Johnson, it's been such an honor. And don't you worry, because there's ways we all get to stay in touch. And so I want to dive in, and I want to just give a shout out to a few of you guys that have just been posting so bravely. I want to talk about the talks. Izzy, is it okay if we bounce to slide number 15? I just want to talk about some of your beautiful CTA number 4s that you popped up. And I wanted to really give a shout out to all of you guys that popped your talk outline into the Facebook group. Just give me a yes in the chat if this was helpful to start outlining your talk. Was this something helpful for you guys to learn? Did you take something away from this? Awesome. Okay. So I'd like to give you guys some feedback on these because they were so good. And we can learn so much from each other. Did you guys notice this beautiful, beautiful version by Kristen, who helps people plan their Disney vacations. So fun, right? So creative. Kristen, I just loved this so much that I wanted to give you one tip that might even help you reach more people. There's nothing wrong with this. It's absolutely fabulous. But I wanted to use this because I think it's such a great example of how we can just tweak a title just a little bit. Give me a thumbs up on the screen if you guys love learning about how to get more eyeballs on your stuff, because it really is about stopping the scroll, right? So I grabbed Kristen's title and I zoomed in on it. You can see that on the next slide. I'm just on a mission to make sure you guys can get more eyeballs on your stuff. So here's what Kristen's title looks like zoomed in. Now, when you guys do the squint test on this, you squint your eyes and you look at it. What's the word that pops out the most? Pop it in the chat. What word pops out the most? Yeah, it's magical, right? Now, magical is great, but is it really going to grab the attention of your people? We don't know. So here's a quick example. I popped her title onto the next slide just so you guys could see what I'm talking about, right? This is kind of the layout of her title, right? We get to see the word magical. That's great. But what if you laid out your title like this? Can you guys see the difference? Can you see it? Give me a nod if you guys can see the difference, right? Can you, like, it's the same words, right? But if you make the right words bold, this is the difference between 100 people actually clicking and seeing you versus like 1 or 2. Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? So I just really want us to keep learning from each other. I really want this to work for you guys. So I hope that's helpful. I wanted to also bring up and thank you, by the way, Kirsten, for that incredible example. I kind of want to go, Kristen, I kind of want to go to Disneyland with you. Should we plan like a women rocking business Disneyland trip? Would that be fun? Would you guys come with me? It'd be so fun. Okay. So they say that Disneyland and the beach are the happiest places on earth. So you guys could also come to Santa Cruz, just saying, in April, hint, hint. And the beach is the other happiest place on earth, right? So you got to appreciate a mentor who's, not afraid of, talking about how great her retreats are. Okay. So the slide, let's see. So Lana Wolf put up an amazing talk. Did you guys see this one? Manifesting in the Vortex. I love this talk. Beautiful talk. One of the only things that I saw that could potentially even be done better here, Lana, is that you actually have this question. How many of you feel fully aligned and connected to your intuition? Okay, so this is Lana's opening question. How many of you feel fully aligned or fully aligned? Let's see. Can we go to the last one? Izzy, the last slide? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So, actually, yeah, will you go back, Izzy, to just that first bullet point? Okay, perfect. Okay. How many of you, so this is thank you, Izzy, I love you. This is the question that Lana is using to open up her talk. How many of you feel fully aligned and connected to your intuition and confident that you can create the life you're meant for? Okay, that question, pop a note in the chat. Is it clear, yes or no, exactly how to answer that question? Is that question simple enough to elicit a super simple yes or no question? It's kind of a complicated question. And so, Lana, the reason I wanted to give you this feedback is because your talk is so good. And so I wanted everybody in the Zoom room to learn from you, because I think if we just do a couple little things differently, you guys are going to get even better results. Of course, I'd love to spend the whole day with you, really helping you fine tune every single aspect of your talk. But I want to give you some of the best tips now. So when you guys start a talk on Zoom or even in your videos, the way that you start that out, your first 10, 15 seconds, that is gold, because in those first 15, 30 seconds, that first couple minutes of your talk, raise your hand if you guys would agree with me. This is either going to determine whether people stay in your Zoom room or decide maybe they should go do the laundry. Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? We have got to grab people's attention in this world. And so Lana's got this incredible talk. So let's be sure, Lana, that you have very clear questions where people can easily go, oh, that's me, I'm in. And now there's energy flowing both ways. Does that make sense? So here's what you could do. We'll pop back up that slide. You could divide that question into 2 simple questions. And I'm going to invite you guys to all take a breath. Pretend you're in Lana's Zoom room right now. Imagine if she opened up her talk and she said, pop a yes in the chat if you're here because you would like to feel more connected to your intuition. Is that true for you? Just pop a yes into the chat. Would you like to be more connected to your intuition? Okay. And then I'm also curious, how many of you, pop a yes in the chat if you'd actually like to use your intuition, align with that intuition to create a life that you're really meant for. Is that true for you guys? Is that something that you've really been wanting to, you like not just create externally, but create from the inside out? Is that yes for you guys? Just pop a yes in the chat. Awesome. I see you, Kathy. I see you, Tanya. I see you, Harriet. I see you, Donnell. Okay. Did you guys see what I just did? What did I just do? Pop it in the chat. Did you guys see it? The difference between, right? If we open up a room with a big, long, complicated run-on question that is hard to know how to answer. Yeah, I identified people. I broke it down. I actually, Lana, I love you. Lana said, I see it. Yes. Okay. I'm so glad you're here, Lana, to get the feedback, right? Because these little things, every time we get together, every single time we get together, you guys can learn, you can grow, get one more little piece that can have you go out there and 5x your engagement, 10x your engagement. Now you have 100% of people staying on the Zoom line versus some people dropping off, right? It's like every single one of these things matters. So I'm so excited about you guys just continuing to learn and get clear and get clear and get clear. And you guys can tell I love doing this. So, okay, I'm just going to do a quick temperature check. Raise your hand if you guys are with me. This is helpful. You're watching the engagement. And I just want to also invite you guys to remember, when you embark on the path of being a really well-paid speaker and you want to forge your own path, you don't want to wait to be discovered. You don't want to wait for somebody to bestow a $25,000 keynote talk upon you. Raise your hand if you're a woman that wants to forge your own way. You want to write your own ticket. Raise your hand if you see the value of building your own stage. Raise your hand. Yeah. So this is what we do. This is how we get better, right? It's not from sitting behind our computers and just studying and watching videos. It's from really being in places and spaces where we can interact. That's why we train our clients every week live. So wherever you are going to really get that confidence from the inside out, to practice, to watch it happening in real time, and then, be with your sisters, that's where we can really take this to the next level. So today is about continuing to 10x your entrepreneurial freedom vision. Y'all look beautiful today. I love seeing your hands go up. Thank you for playing. And raise your hand one more time if you guys can see that this is not just you talking at people, right? Bringing your vision to light is not just you talking into a void. It's about actually creating energy flowing in both directions. And that's why we open up live Zoom rooms, and we're not just, recording videos in order to get you the transmission. Now, I want to speak to this idea that pain pushes until vision pulls. Have you guys heard this quote? Pain pushes until vision pulls. Because as we talk about freedom, and we're on page 19 of your workbook, as we talk about freedom today, I really want to invite you into a few mindset shifts. I invite you into the mindset shift that when you become the woman, become the leader who builds your business on your terms, who builds a business that fits into your life, rather than your life having to fit around an overly busy business schedule, right? Are you guys with me? This decision to do that very intentionally is also going to help you create inner freedom. That's been my experience. How many of you guys are wanting to grow this business because you actually also want to really develop yourself spiritually? Maybe some of you, and I'm being real about this question, you want to go all the way in this lifetime. You're here to self-actualize. You're here to go all the way, right? And so I just want to really, again, welcome you into this space where we get to be in a real conversation of what it means to go to the next level. I'm going to see if I can share this quick story without crying. There was a time when I really struggled to trust that this business was mine to do. You know, when I would go to put myself out there, I would experience a lot of imposter syndrome, or what a lot of people would call is imposter syndrome. Like the question that would go on in my mind is, you know, who am I to do this? Pop a yes in the chat if you can relate to that. You know, we have a tendency to have kind of one foot down on the gas pedal and one foot down on the brake pedal. Like, have you guys ever noticed that you get excited, you get inspired, right? In one moment, and you know that's the direction you're supposed to go, but then life happens and we get distracted and life throws something at us. And it can be really easy to doubt that, like, this is really ours to do. So when I moved to California, many of you guys know I moved here with no money. I was living in an RV. I was trying to figure out how to do my business. And I was so lucky that Ocean Robbins and I had the same mentor. And I think like some of the most important relationships I've ever made in my life have been because I've been in communities where a mentor was pulling us forward. And Ocean and his family started inviting me over to dinner. Now, this is very significant because over the years, my dad, my father was getting sicker and sicker and sicker. And my dad finally passed away in COVID, really tragically. And Ocean Robbins' dad, John Robbins, some of you might know John Robbins. He's the son of Baskin Robbins. He is an incredible man. We'll pop up the slide. John Robbins is here with me and Ocean and Claire Zamet. And John Robbins kind of became like my adopted father. And John was the one that I would go to when I needed advice in my business. And when I felt like maybe I was, you know, maybe it wasn't, you know, sometimes it felt like it wasn't flowing for me. Raise your hand if you've ever had that feeling like this is just not flowing. If it's not flowing, then maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right? So he was oftentimes the one that I would go to and just be honest. For some reason, I felt really safe with John. John was born into the Baskin Robbins family. He grew up swimming in an ice cream shaped swimming pool, but he also really struggled as a kid because he didn't have use of his legs as a child. He was in a wheelchair. And when he went to college, he started eating vegetables. His yoga teacher told him to eat vegetables, and his legs grew and he started running, and he became this incredible thought leader that we know as John Robbins. And, you know, John built a really beautiful movement that became the Food Revolution Network, which is now Ocean Robbins is at the helm of that. And Ocean's one of my best friends. The reason why this all matters is that John passed away last year, and John was growing sicker and sicker and sicker about a year ago. And I remember the time that I went up there having just really hit a big hurdle in my business. And again, John did not have his normal level of energy, but John, as soon as he saw me each time when I would go visit, he would always say, "What do you need? What can I do for you? Thank you for supporting women." And I kind of unloaded on him this one visit. I said, I just sometimes feel like it's not flowing for me. It's not, if I really should be doing this, maybe sometimes I feel like it should be easier. Like, I just feel like for you, it just really was easier. Like maybe you were lucky, or maybe it flowed better for you. And John just got this look in his eyes, and he just shook his head and he said, "No, Sage. Oh, no, sweetheart. No, that's not how it goes." He says, a lot of my teachers would always say, you know, the harder I work, the luckier I get. He said, but what I've come to understand really, and we'll pop up the slide. He said, what I've come to understand really is that it's not just that. It's that the harder I work and the deeper I listen and the more I trust that something bigger is moving me, the luckier I get. And he came to me last night in a dream, and I decided I wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope this serves you. But I had the honor of getting to be with John 2 days before he passed away. And we all knew that he only had a few days left. And he called Ocean and I in for a meeting. And I knew this was going to be my last conversation with him. And he said, what I want you guys to know, because Ocean's serving his audience and I'm serving my audience. He said, what I want you to know when you talk to your audiences, he said, I hope that I can inspire your audiences to not turn away from their own suffering. He said, in these final hours, and you guys, John, his polio came back. He was in so much pain, post polio comes back. And he refused to take any of the pain medications because he wanted to be awake to the thing that is calling us home. And he sat there, he said, Ocean, Sage, I feel my maker calling me home. And he said, what I want people to know is that in these final hours, what I can perceive now is that every time I turned toward my own suffering and I turned toward the struggle, it actually catapulted me toward my purpose. He used that word, catapulted. He said, please remind the women that you work with that they're beautiful and they're perfect amidst all the struggle, amidst all the suffering on planet Earth, and that they will continue to be propelled toward their highest purpose. I invite us to just hold out our hands to all of those who have passed during COVID, all of you who have lost a loved one, every single brave soul who has had the courage to leave this world a better place. Send that love to every single woman in this room. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. It's so special to be with you all week long, truly. And so I invite you to pop one word in the chat. What are you committed to next? We're about ready to dive into some teachings and trainings on what holds us back and how do we really start to look at the profit. But I invite us to all take a breath and just pop one word in the chat. What is propelling you forward now? What matters the most now? My faith, my family, my love, my freedom, my courage. I'm here to support others. I know my impact. Yes. Kiki, Pamela, Donna, Mindy. Yes. Dr. Zamara, Karen. Yes. Louise, I love these. My legacy, making every day count, making every moment count, surrounding myself with the right people. Yes, Dr. Damita, I love these. Nadine, beautiful. So with that, I'm going to invite you to reach your arms up overhead. And I want to invite us to take advantage of these last couple hours that we're together. Are you with me? Are you with me? Okay, we got this. We got this. And one more sparkle into the screen. Okay, so that being said, I want to welcome, we do have 8 of you who have decided to join our one-year business academy. Congratulations to those 8 people. I do want to be human with you for a moment. When we started the summit, I said that nothing would be for sale for over $100. And this is a really high level group. So many of you were actually emailing in asking about our programs that we ended up taking the seats in Business Academy that we were going to open at the end of the month. And we actually decided to open them up this week. And so yesterday we did open up that application process. We're just really honored that these 8 women, that 8 of you are choosing to claim these seats. Pop some hearts if you're willing to celebrate women. These women are up to big things. I know a few more of you are applying as well. And sometimes we pivot, and thank you all for going through that pivot with us. Tammy, Jennifer, Sela, Zomara, Kathleen, Mary, Kristen, Virginia. We're just so excited to support you this year. Now, what I'd like to do, Deborah, if it's okay, is I'd like to bring the one and only Deborah Artura back up to the stage for a moment. And I want to just have a moment of quick hashtag real talk. What is the thing that you continue to want to transform so that we can then orient together toward what you're creating, getting you really thinking about what it's going to look like to bring in your next $30,000, your next $50,000, the mindset shifts, and also like the tangible, practical reality of that. And if that's another thing that John Robbins taught me, it was to get my feet firmly grounded on the earth. He was not afraid of the hard work. Pop a few more hearts on the screen if you're willing to actually really embrace that work can be so nourishing if we're on purpose. Anything to add, Deborah?
I love it. So that's the hashtag real talk. That's what I am all about. And I just love that, Sage. It is our time to keep turning towards our calling and allowing ourselves to choose the pieces that are included and required to give our gifts and to be able to acknowledge the parts of ourselves that might want to be doing something else and to get into that deeper cut of why we're choosing what we're choosing. Right? Most of us don't necessarily want to work, but we want to live in our homes. We want to be able to afford organic food. We want to be able to pay our mortgage or our rent. We don't want to be nomadic and be figuring it out all the time, right? So we might not want to do the hard things, but we've got to be connected to that, what we do want, right? And so what I do want is to keep having a beautiful home, temple space, to keep nourishing my being so that I can keep giving my gifts and being of service. And I'm really honored to be in this room with so many folks here who are oriented the same way. And I see some of you are popping. Kendall, I see you. Digital nomad here. Yes, but you're a digital nomad living in a way that's how you want to be living, right? It's not a have to, and it's not grinning and bearing the
I
elements.
know. I think Kendall has a very bougie trailer that I want to come visit soon. Yep, yeah, we got your number, beauty.
I
All
love
right,
it.
I love
So
this.
So I would love to just open up a conversation kind of amongst us all around like what are some of the things that we bump up against on the path of building our freedom businesses, right? And so really just looking through that lens of hashtag real talk. We are not here. This isn't just rainbows and butterflies. We are here to really keep moving the needle. So pop in the chat if any of these things that I'm going to kind of lay out here resonate for you because I know that we are women who are kind of bringing our life with us on the path, right? So many of you have been studying and growing. You've been getting certifications, some of you certifications after certification, and you still don't have clients. Some of you might be struggling because you lost a job or you left your job. You want to build a business. You still need income, but you are not making the money you need to.
Can I
Some of
pause
you,
actually? I would love to do a temperature check in the room. Will you guys do me a favor and just pop a note in the chat if you have either lost or left your job? Just pop that phrase in the chat. Just pop the phrase left a job or lost a job. And then if you guys also have like a lot of certifications and you're still not getting the clients that you want, will you guys put that note in the chat? Just certifications. You could just type certifications if that's true for you. We're just, that way we can really get a sense of where you guys are at. Back to you, Deborah.
yeah, I love it. And I'm seeing a lot of both of those things, right? I see you nodding your heads and I see you typing in the chat. So, really important that we just get to acknowledge that this is what we have been kind of navigating on the path of building our business, right? We've got big, deep feelings connected to the pain of not having what we're wanting or needing, the pain of not having that income, having lost the job, right? The disappointment. And I know I hear from women over these last many years that I've been working with women entrepreneurs. One of the things that I hear often is that many have invested in trainings, but they have not gotten the traction or the results that they were hoping for, right? Maybe you've attracted your first few clients, but you're still feeling overwhelmed by all the things. So pop in the chat overwhelmed if you can relate to that, that you've got a couple of clients, but you're still feeling overwhelmed. Yes, I see a lot of big capital overwhelms. Yeah. And then how many of you have invested in trainings and you didn't get the traction, right? Type no traction in the chat if that's you. You've gone to trainings, you've shown up for them, but you haven't gotten the clients, you haven't gotten the kind of visibility. Yeah, I see a lot of you overwhelmed and no traction. And for some of you, you've been building this business for a while and you've reached six figures, but you haven't been able to get the systems in place to get to that next level. So if that's you, pop a next level in the chat. You want to get to that next level, but you've not been able to get there. Yes, I see a lot of you on perpetual hold. Exactly. That's such a deep, frustrating experience to want to be getting those results, have had momentum, and then to feel the burn. Yeah. Just taking a breath with all of you.
And so, if John taught me anything in his transition, it was that there is something much bigger happening here. And John came to me in a dream the night after he passed away. And when I woke up, here I go, super metaphysical. My alarm clock started playing a song I had never heard it play before. How does that happen? I don't know. Ocean came over. We pushed every single button on my alarm clock to get that freaking song to play. And the song essentially was a song of freedom. And so I want to really speak a word for, pop a yes in the chat if you know there's something so much bigger than this lifetime. Pop a yes in the chat if you believe that there is something so much bigger moving in, as, and through you. And if that really is true, if we can be visited by those who have crossed over to the other side, then why wouldn't we give this life everything we've got, right? And I just so acknowledge every single one of you for your transparency and being willing to continue to metabolize all of the things that we've struggled with, right? We turn toward the suffering, we metabolize, we find like-minded community, we hire mentors, we do whatever we do, and then we keep shifting our mindset. And so as we dive into the workbook, I want to talk about this philosophy of choosing your mission first, your mission ahead of the numbers and the metrics. And you are not the money in your bank account, And so to stay anchored into that deeper spiritual truth. And so as you go to build your business, as you go to put these talks out there, as you go to put together your high ticket programs and your client funnels, right? You go to do all these things. I invite you to never compromise what you need to do to stay connected to your mission, to your spiritual resource, right? For me, Deborah knows I don't plan meetings before 9:30. There's a lot of CEOs that don't go to work before 9:30 or 10. If Jeff Bezos doesn't have to go to work before 10 o'clock, neither does Sage Levine. Pop a yes in the chat if you're picking up what I'm laying down. And so having that structure, I need my morning practice to be firmly rooted in my spirituality. And then that structure is what creates freedom, right? That's the next mindset shift, because when you are clear on when you're working, your work hours, your schedules, you're clear on what income producing activities to focus on, right? No matter who you're going to for advice, we've got to be really clear on where is the money going to come from. And I'll just say a little bit more because, it's easy to look out in the world and see all the things that other thought leaders or entrepreneurs or coaches are doing. But I caution you against emulating people unless you know how big their team is, unless you know how much advertising budget they have. Pop some hearts on the screen if you're aware that we've got to be sure that we match your plan with your level of business, right? Because even if you're starting from nothing, there is a very clear plan that will get you to your first $100,000. And it's probably not watching a lot of some of the influencers that you're watching online, because a lot of the bigger influencers have teams, they have advertising budgets, we certainly do. And so that's one of the reasons why we advocate so much for getting mentorship, whether you get mentorship here or somewhere else. Pop some hearts on the screen if you are somebody who believes in mentorship, you believe in the energy of being mentored, of being a mentor. And so to be sure that you go somewhere to get that clear plan, to get that clear structure, to be able to create your own freedom. And I love this quote that being a free spirit takes great discipline. In fact, the root of the word discipline is disciple. And so my question to all of you today is, what are you a disciple of? And where are you choosing to put your energy and your money and your time in order to go to that next level, right? And that brings me to the third essential mindset shift, which is that your energy really is a business asset. Your clarity and your vitality and your vision and how supported you feel on a day-to-day basis wherever you go to get this ongoing sense of community, that really is going to be your launch pad, right? And so to be sure to tend to that. And then from that place, we recommend that you find that way to discern between the days that you're working on your business and the days that you're working in your business. Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? Because if you have one client a day, 5 days a week, that could really botch up your schedule in terms of doing all the other things. So I always tell my clients, set normal work hours, choose the days of the week that are going to be your client days. I usually work with my clients on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and today is it's a weird day because we're in the summit. But when I really focus on putting my client meetings and my client trainings, actually it's shifted, hasn't it, Deborah, to Wednesdays and Thursdays. So when I really see my clients on Wednesdays and Thursdays, it leaves me my Mondays and Tuesdays to work on my business. Are you guys picking up the difference here? On Mondays and Tuesdays, I can meet with my team. I can meet with my affiliate partners. I can work on writing my next book. I see my clients Wednesdays and Thursdays. Pop a yes in the chat if you can see the value of clumping your time, right? So that you're not always having to go back and forth. And what that does is it also allows the different hemispheres of your brain to also be available and rest, and to have that access on a daily basis to that sense of devotion. And what I want to say about that fifth mindset shift is that devotion really does beat out hustle. We can only hustle for so many days in a row before we start feeling, the impact of kind of adrenaline overload, right? I'm sure many of you can relate. And so hustle does run on pressure and adrenaline. But I'm going to invite you to just take a breath into that knowingness that our devotion to our future clients, our devotion to that which is coming through us, that runs on purpose. And so I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath. And in a moment, I think Izzy will probably go straight to, we'll go straight to the video in just a moment. But I actually want to invite you, as you are thinking about this idea of setting your business up to serve your life. Can you feel it? So I just invite us all to take a nice deep breath into, okay, if you're going to be a leader and you're going to be a woman who goes out there and offers mentorship packages, transformational journeys for your clients, guess who we need to be fully resourced? Who? You. Fully resourced. And so I invite you, as you're thinking about your job description, that one of the very top things on your job description is self-care. You guys with me? Because if you're expecting your leadership to go up this year, you're expecting to enroll clients, you're expecting to build your business, then your self-care and the level of attunement that you have to your journey and your story and the way that you're crafting all these different pieces, and you are now becoming the face of your business, that's got to keep going up. Because if your self-care or your attunement to your story, or right, how much you're paying attention to all the other things, right, if that starts to decline, then your business is probably not going to grow either, right? Your level of support. So as I'm about to introduce one of my besties, to you. We're going to get to watch back Susan Pierce Thompson's interview together. Susan is a graduate of Women Rocking Business. One of the reasons why I love growing my business and being in this place of having an actual, training company and being an influencer is actually because of the people I get to meet. Susan's helping people lose weight. She's helped more people lose weight, I think, and keep off the weight than pretty much any one single person that I know. There's a lot of beautiful weight loss organizations, but Susan, as an individual, has already touched millions of lives. She's been on the Today Show. She's got several New York Times bestselling books, including Bright Line Eating. And Susan walked in to the 3-day event that many of you are coming to in April. She walked into that 3-day event, I think 6 years ago. And you guys, within 14 months of attending our 3-day event, she had $1 million launch. So pop a yes in the chat if you would love for that to be true for you. Pop a yes in the chat if you're coming to the 3-day event in April. I'm so excited. And by the way, you guys, we have the ride share and the room share posts up in the Facebook group. So if you need a link to that Facebook group, that Rock Sales Retreat private Facebook group, it's a separate Facebook group. You can go find your roommates in there. I'm so excited to have you guys at that 3-day event. Whether you're a Zoomer or a roomer, it's going to be awesome. We have a way of taking care of everybody virtually and everybody in Santa Cruz. You're going to get a ton out of that. And Susan used that 3-day event to just launch herself. When I met Susan, she was a professor. And now she teaches a class when she wants to here and there. She walked up to me at that event. She said, Sage, I don't know how you're working 12 days a month, because I'm working 45 days a month and there are not 45 days in a month. And so I was working with her and her team and her systems and her structures. She said, one of my dreams is to retire my husband. And now I'm really good friends with her husband, David, and David is retired, and they were just on a Disney cruise, and David gets to help take care of their 3 girls, these amazing girls, so that Susan can also go be Susan and be an influencer. And they're just an incredible family. For those of you that don't know Susan's story, she was a drug addicted teenager who went to being a food addicted young woman ready to reclaim her life. She got clean at one point. She stopped eating sugar and flour. She realized how addictive those things were. She went from a size 16 to a size 4. Highly recommend looking her up if you want a very sustainable way to lose the weight. And one of the things about these businesses is we get to become friends with just incredible influencers. And so as you listen to her interview, she's got some great things to say for any of you that are authors and writers. Susan and I have supported each other to publish our books. When Susan completed a couple of years coaching with me, I said, you can't coach with me anymore because I need you as a best friend. So now we coach each other. And I think you guys are going to love her interview. Susan Pierce Thompson. We get to be together. I don't think I've ever gone to interview you in person.
No.
You're one of my very best friends in the whole world. I had the honor of coaching you years ago.
Yes.
And here you are, having built this incredible, extraordinary movement, helping people all over the world understand the science behind lasting weight loss. Mm-hmm. And you've probably helped more people keep weight off than any other human in the world, singularly. I know that you have been through all kinds of contrast in your life, mm-hmm. from drugs to being, lots of addictions, mm-hmm. lots of extra weight on your beautiful body. How did you dig into yourself to become the thought leader that you are? And how can we learn from your breadcrumbs?
It wasn't one thing. It's been an evolution. And so it wasn't a moment. But I would say that before I started Bright Line Eating, I had years under my belt of working really hard on myself. And that started for me in 12-step programs. I got clean and sober when I was 20. I mean, it started before that in therapy. I was in therapy from a young age. And I learned spirituality. I learned to pray and meditate. I learned to be in connection with people. And then, right before I met you, and hired you as my coach, I think the calling of of needing to serve people the way I came to realize I needed to serve people convinced me to invest in myself and in my training at a really deep level. And I became willing to get the support that I needed and to invest financially in it, and that is something that I've done my whole business journey, is really invested heavily in myself and in the movement that I was building. And it's really paid off. And I don't regret it at all. And I would say that those are some of the key things that I have done. I've been in community. I've been supporting myself emotionally and spiritually. And I've really invested in, learning how to grow a business online.
It's just so impressive. You've defied so many odds in the honor of sisterhood and self-care, which is what today is a lot about in the summit, right? For all these women who are here, and these women have been learning strategy all week. Okay. So you and I have, I think, in some ways leaned into each other more than maybe either of us thought we would. We're literally on the phone every week clearing. Yeah. And one of the things I think you've taught me is that I have to increase my standards. We're not going to go somewhere we've never been if we keep doing and letting everything be okay. That's always been that way. And you teach the power of bright lines, of having bright lines to millions of people. And this opportunity that we have then to raise our standards a bit. And I'm curious, what would you say to the women who are listening here who know they're going to have to keep upping their leadership and caring for their bodies? And can you teach us a little bit about the science of that and why it's so critical?
Yeah. So if you don't know, a bright line is just a clear, unambiguous boundary that you just don't cross. And you apply that boundary to get consistent and reliable results. The first bright line that I ever applied in my life was no drugs, no alcohol. And I needed that boundary when I was 20 years old. It was pretty obvious. I was a crack addict and a prostitute and a high school dropout. I needed to stop doing drugs. But when I put up that bright line for alcohol and drugs, and I didn't know it at the time, but I kind of established one for prostitution as well. I never went back to that either from that day that I got clean and sober. Over time, I started to establish bright lines for self-care. Like, I never miss my morning meditation. I meditate for 30 minutes every morning and I just don't miss it. I mean, I haven't missed it in a long time. Even when I've had to get up at 3 a.m. to get on an airplane, I click in and we fly off and I set a timer for 30 minutes and I sit there and meditate, the best I can with the propellers, growling at me. And, I also have a bright line where I journal every night. I write in a 5-year journal. I don't miss. I've done that for longer than my business has been in existence, maybe 15, 16 years. I've been doing that every night. So I have bright lines now around self-care that nurture me, and I love this idea of raising your standards. We have to take pretty exquisite care of ourselves to show up the way we need to show up in the world, don't we?
What I think is true about you, Susan, is you can get in front of the camera and you channel in a way that I think very few people channel. You're so willing to let that which is bigger than you come through you. And it's really even occurring to me right now that when you take the time to empty out and reset yourself, that it keeps you in that flow.
It does. It allows me to tap in at the deepest level. Yeah. Tap into the life force that's pulsing, that's underneath the hubbub.
Yeah. And so let's talk about that, because that speaks to your authenticity. And you and I were previously, before this interview, talking about what AI is doing to the world of thought leadership. Susan's a multi-time New York Times bestselling author, 4 books out, more on the way. And can you speak to how AI is going to be changing our world as writers, as influencers, and your thoughts on that and what's going to be more important than ever?
Yeah, totally. I don't know if you've experienced this, but our bullshit sensors are getting more attuned in the age of AI, right?
Oh my gosh.
We've all had this experience of like reading something and going, oh, this is AI, right? And it's such an intangible thing. It's it's just a little too polished. It's a little too generic. It's a little too smooth. There's a certain je ne sais quoi, right? That's either there or missing. Or I don't know what it is, but it's not human. And I think that what it is to be human, we're going to become more and more attuned to it. And, whether it's a matter of strategy or a matter of heart and soul or whatever it is, bringing not just our A game, but our realness to the people that we serve is going to become more and more important. I am all for AI, throw the ideas of the webinar into ChatGPT and, get a bunch of titles and then brainstorm them with some other people and come up with an amalgam that really works, right? I wouldn't want to live without AI for a lot of tasks. But when it comes to speaking, honestly and candidly about how you help people, people don't want to hear your bullshit or your smooth, polished anything anymore. And that's going to become more and more true. They've got to hear your heart and soul.
What you're speaking to is so essential. And this concept that we can actually tap into our present state of being and our humanness and be human, to bring people into our humanity, that really juices me up. And I think one of the things you speak to as a multi-decade psychology professor, all the work that you've done, is goal setting. And you understand the positive psychology around goal setting. And you looked at me in the eyes a few years ago and you're like, Sage, the goal's not going to make you any happier. Cause I had just become a best-selling author and I had all these things happening. And I was like, why do I feel so stuck and frustrated right now? And you're like, we can't put weight in the wrong things. And it's like, I knew that, but for you to just say the goal doesn't make you happier, enjoy the journey on the way to the goal. I think that's going to be a part of us actually sharing our human journey and, differentiating ourselves as leaders from AI. But can you speak a little bit to the science that you understand about that and then how you hold intention setting for your life?
Yeah, totally. I mean, so the science is that achieving a goal doesn't make you happier. And the reason it doesn't is that we're on this hedonic treadmill where no matter how fast we run, we're not really actually getting anywhere from a happiness perspective. There's good data on this. So they did this research with professors who were going to come up for tenure, right? Academia is the only place with a 7-year probationary period. And it's ridiculous.
7 years.
And then literally, if you don't get tenure, you're out, you're fired, you need to move your whole family. It's horrific. And the date of the tenure decision is coming up at a certain time. So they were able to study, were people who got tenure versus didn't get tenure meaningfully happier 6 months later? And the answer is no, they weren't. Everybody was back to their baseline level of happiness within 6 months, whether they got tenure or didn't get tenure. There was a boost in happiness when people got tenure, but it came back down. And there was a dip in happiness when people didn't get tenure, but it came back up. And so the reality is that achieving a goal or failing to achieve a goal doesn't move the needle long term. It's actually having a goal that makes you happier. So it's having a meaningful thing to be striving toward. What that does is it galvanizes your resource, your focus, your feeling of making progress, which releases steady dopamine hits. It makes you feel like allocate resources towards something that matters to you, which makes you feel productive and proactive. People who set goals are more likely to actually get from point A to point B. So you are more likely to get there if you have a goal. But once you get there, it's not going to make you any happier. So what's interesting is be wary of achieving a goal there actually is a letdown. If it was a really meaningful goal, when I turned in my doctoral dissertation, I felt lost and empty for weeks because I'd been striving toward that for so long. And I lost the identity of a PhD student striving toward a PhD. And I kind of floundered for a while. So be careful that you actually have backup things to strive for. When you achieve something, you need to keep striving. It's actually being in motion towards something that matters to you, that makes you happier.
Well, I feel excited about that because I think that's actually one of the reasons to keep setting these benchmarks in our businesses and having a project, like Brene Brown says, like having a project is part of what brings us happiness. Mm-hmm. And it makes so much sense. And I think the human journey, to your point, it becomes so precious. And then we have this like science-based reason to show up and be excited about it every day. And it's who also we get to become in the process that gets, I think, so inspiring. So I want to invite every single one of you who have not checked out Susan, who have not checked out her work. The Bright Line eating process is something that absolutely changed the way I eat forever. Like I immediately lost 15 pounds. I've kept it off. I'm a big believer because it's so wholesome. It's so practical. And Susan's obviously the best. So brightlineeating.com, go check her out. A bunch of my team members are on Bright Line Eating. We love it. And what would you say to these women who maybe aren't sitting in that place where they've fully established their brand, where they've been filled up with all these ideas for the last 5 days, and just the encouragement to stay on the journey and the invitation into what's next?
Yeah, I would say community, community, community. You can't become yourself by yourself. So get connected up in the sisterhood. It's what I did. And, invest in being around the people who are making it their business to make the world a better place, to level each other up. You do such a good job building that community. It's one of the reasons I stay so close to you myself. And don't ever give up. Your life is a PhD program for what you're meant to bring to the world. And it's you specifically. And Sage teaches that so beautifully. You really do, my dear. I love you so much.
I love you so much. Thank you for your courage. And thank you for the way that you keep carving out inside yourself a heart that just keeps loving and holding the highest potential for people. Oh, it was so sweet. Oops. I always put my blue light glasses on between teaching. Poppy yes in the chat, if taking care of your eyes is part of the job of influencer. It was sweet to kind of experience you guys watching that interview. That was the first time I had ever gotten a chance to interview Susan in person. And what was your biggest takeaway from Susan? Just pop it in the chat. What was your biggest takeaway from just hearing how she cares for her body? I think that's one of the reasons why Susan and I have found each other. Like we just have very similar ways of really putting our self-care first. I know you guys, you have to check out Susan's Bright Line Eating system if you never have and are interested in just getting more into a right-sized body. And yes, I love it. Increase our standards. Yes, it is having a project that brings happiness. Isn't that crazy? Brene Brown speaks to that if you are seeking more happiness, having a project is the thing that brings us happiness, like especially in times of darkness and when we're looking out in the world, like wondering why some of the people in charge of our world are making the decisions we're making. What can we do? What can I do? Bringing it home. And so one of the things I'm most passionate about for every single one of you is, and by the way, I'll get some of these comments over to Susan. She'll be so excited to hear that you guys loved her interview, and everything's on the all access page. You can go watch and, grab Susan's gift and all the things. One of the things I'm adamant about teaching here on our virtual campus is a specific enough plan that the women that we work with are not left spinning their wheels. Because I know our biggest enemies, give me a thumbs up if you resonate with this. Our biggest enemies are overwhelm and loneliness. And we're living in a world where some of the powers that be would prefer we are distracted and overwhelmed. And so when it comes to business, I'm actually a minimalist. I want to look for the highest leverage point. How do we get you the plan that is going to get you the biggest results in the shortest amount of time? Because if we don't, we risk you running out of the time and the energy and the drive to really make a go of this business. And so I'm very interested in my clients being able to get to six figures or beyond, specifically working 12 days a month or less. That's my vision for anybody that wants it. That's a great starting place. So when we go to do that, we'll pop up the slide. We've got to be sure that you really are paying attention to what you're doing each week. You are not just letting your your impulses or whatever's distracting you that day, right? You might have a kid who's homesick from school. You might have a roof on your house that needs fixing. But pop a yes in the chat if you would agree with me that one of the big goals, one of the big hacks here is to not let life distract you, right? Like life will throw you distractions. That's life's job. So if you can really commit to a couple of client days each week, at least one kind of CEO creative day each week, then you've got a buffer day each week, right? Where things can kind of overflow into. For me, one of the things I love to teach my clients to do, and one of the things that fires me up, is I love leading retreats. Pop some hearts on the screen if you want to lead retreats. We build retreat building into Business Academy because our women, most of them, want to have some kind of a retreat as part of their business portfolio. And so one of the things that fires me up is I know I got, 100 women coming to Santa Cruz in April. I got 100 more coming to Santa Cruz in May. I'm taking my mastermind to Sedona in November, right? I'm in the process of getting Bali on the books for early next year. So pop a yes in the chat if this kind of thing fires you up, right? And so my 12-day a month work schedule looks like this. I thought I'd kind of pull it for you guys just so you can see this is what we're systematically teaching our clients to do. Now, there's a whole art and science behind getting this to, really work for you. But I'm a big advocate of what if you were to really go all in, right? Monday through Thursday, you are all in on your business the first 3 weeks of the month. That's 12 days of focused attention. And then 1 week out of the month, you can leave open for what I call Flex Week. Now, I have done some amazing things on Flex Week. I've gotten to go to Africa on Flex Week. I've gotten to go to India on Flex Week. I wrote my book over the course of about 4 or 5 Flex Weeks, right? Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? Pop a yes in the chat if you would agree with me. We need time where we're not working. That is where the deep creativity comes from. We cannot be working all the time. And so this is where we also, if we're going to commit to 12 days going all in, we can have flexible Fridays, right? And that's what brings what I really like to consider, this kind of more feminine work-life balance. And like for me, it's a really, truly sustainable joy, right? We're talking about a business that's sustainable, that brings money in a recurring way. You can rest into being confident. That's why one of the big things that we really stand for here on our virtual campus is that all year long, our clients are practicing getting on camera and being their best selves. Because when you know how to show up and be your best self when it counts, you can set up a whole system to allow you to have your freedom back. Are you guys with me? You guys you go to the dentist, right? We have people in the Zoom room, you guys have dentists. I always say, it's kind of like you're the dentist. You don't want to be the receptionist. You don't want to be the one cleaning the teeth, actually doing the cleaning, right? And if you are a dental hygienist, I love you. You're amazing. One of my mom's best friends is a really incredible dental. I'm not knocking anybody, but pop a yes in the chat if you would agree with me and you're kind of following what I'm saying here. If you're going to be a thought leader, the goal is to be the dentist. You want to be the one that comes in and spends a few minutes with everybody and says, based on my level of expertise, this is the thing that's going to move the needle for your healing, your intuition. You want to be able to teach, be in your zone of genius, hire a couple people to help you do all the other things. And that is what we're interested in training our clients to do. And it really does require, I'll bring Deborah back up here. It really does require wherever you go to get that coaching, wherever you go to get that mentorship, right? It requires you really getting specific on what are the income producing activities and what is your actual tangible plan for bringing in those 10 clients at $10,000 each, for bringing in those 20 clients at $5,000 each, because it's simple math. You don't need to serve everybody in the world when you can be a vibrational match for your clients and you see the freedom and you're stoked on your schedule. Deborah always tells me, like, it's Friday. Don't schedule anything, Sage, it's Friday, right? And so, well, you say some version of that to me. The last thing I want to say before I pass it to Deborah is, this feels so important. When I know that I have riverbanks on the river of my creative energy, I'm going all in 12 days a month. Can you guys feel the energy of that? I'm going all in. I'm going to fire myself up. I'm going all in. I'm focused. I'm present. I'm going to channel all of the things I need to channel. And all those other days are flexible. I get so fired up, I'm like Susan and I were laughing the other day. We're like, when we're on purpose, when we're following our freedom schedules, like, it almost feels like we're so on purpose. You could like cut through the earth with us, right? Like that's women getting our power back, but we've got to be intentional. We can't try to be doing all the things at all the time. Want to add anything to that, Deborah?
Well, there's so many important pieces that you're speaking to, Sage. And I think that one of the things, the world that we're living in right now, it's so easy to get distracted. And it's so easy to think that all of the other things that we see everybody else doing are the things that we should be doing too to get our results. And so one of the things that you're speaking to, Sage, I think that's so important is, if we are going to have a freedom schedule and we're going to be able to laser focus and go all in, we need to know what we are doing. What is our true north? What are those actions? What is the strategy that's best for you and your business? And it's one of the things that I'm most proud of that we do here at Women Rocking Business and on our virtual campus, is that we help our clients match their business, their level of business, to the right actions for them to get the results they're looking for, whether they're just starting out or they're already rocking it and have a few clients and want to keep growing, or they're at 6 figures and beyond. Everybody needs a little bit of an individualized strategy. And when we know what that is, it's like we can sort through the distractions and bring ourselves back, right? We can bring ourselves back. Oh, right. This is my goal and this is my next goal. So I know this is where I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to focus, right? Anybody in our community knows this kind of mudra, my favorite.
This is the Women Rocking Business mudra. We have a mudra.
We've got to know what to focus on so we have that freedom, so we don't waste our time. And it's one of the things, Sage, that you are so great at, is actually focusing and going head down and getting it done. And then, okay, now I can go on the beach with my puppy.
Hopping in my first class seat to go to Maui, to my second home over there. So yeah, right? We've got to focus so that we can have all the other things. Deborah, I love that. I get so fired up about this. And for those of you that are considering taking a journey with us this year, we would be honored to show you how to get there. And one of the biggest things I think that's shifted, I know we have some graduates in the room. One of the biggest thing has shifted in the last 6 months here on campus is, instead of just teaching speaking and events as a way to get clients, many of you were asking, we now have the evergreen funnel. Deborah literally just programmed a custom GPT that's spitting out amazing video scripts that you can use to be warming up clients separate from speaking. Pop some hearts on the screen if you want to be able to bring in clients without hosting a webinar every time. And we also now have a whole process that we teach around DMing and bringing in clients every month if you want, separate from just doing those events and speaking. So I know a lot of you guys have been talking to Cheyenne and Desiree and Megan. So, those beautiful women have the answers to any question you might have about how we do that, if you want to consider grabbing one of those other seats. And one of the things I want to invite you to reflect on in your workbook as well is this question at the bottom of page 19, which will pop back up in the chat, which is, if your business really served your life, like really, truly, what are the things that your month would include? So let's just pause and invite you to pop this into the chat for a moment. if your business really served your life, what would you be sure to include in your monthly schedule? Like for me, I actually like to take at least one little trip every single month. Now, when I'm really kind of gas pedal down on growing my business, I try to just take weekend trips kind of close to home. But yes, I like to get to the spa every month too. Yeah, Mary wants to travel. Laura, yes. Laura wants massage weekly. I love it. Lunch by the ocean. I hope you come visit me in Santa Cruz. Yes, Tiara also wants to be at the spa at least once a month. Jennifer Schneider says, I want to be at the mountains at least 1 weekend a month. I love that. Jane Lancaster says, I want to make sure I'm riding horses every month. I love it. Bridget says, I want to get to dance class. I love that. I love to dance as well. Some of you guys want to make sure that you have time in nature. Some of you want to make sure that you get your nails done. Whatever it is, I hope you hear me when I say this to you. Ignore those things at your own risk. What I have found is when we can make sure we have those big rocks in our schedule and we are looking forward to those things, even as we're growing our business, your business can't take the place of those things that you do for yourself. Right. And so some of those kind of essential components, like what do we really believe is necessary to go fast in your business? Putting those big rocks in first, self-care, mentorship, all those things. So the next question I have for you is the non-negotiables that you're going to schedule first. This is a little different, right? The non-negotiables that I'm going to schedule first. Like when I was talking to Susan about this, she wants to make sure she can have enough time to get to all her kids' dance recitals, and they're in plays and taking the stage, right? So you can click one more, Izzy. What is that? Maybe your grandson is in soccer. For me, I schedule my morning practice every morning. I've got an hour to 90 minutes totally to myself. So just pop that in the chat. What is one of your non-negotiables? You've got to do this thing in order to be your best. I'll never forget an interview that I heard with Michelle Obama when she had first moved into the White House with Barack. And she was like so upset because every single morning Barack was going to the gym. And she was feeding the kids lunch and making their lunches to take to school. And she's like, my freaking husband's the president. And every morning he finds time to go to the gym. And she's all fired up. And then she catches herself. She's like, so finally, I walked outside one day and I looked at myself. I said, Michelle, you better find some time to go to the gym, or you're not only going to lose your sanity, you're going to lose your husband, right? So, right, like that is up to us, right? I just love it, right? Janice says, time. Oh, Janice Edwards is in the house. Janice, you're amazing. Time with God. Yeah. Finesse, the gym. Yeah. For me, I do most of my exercising outside and the beach. I do go to hot Pilates these days. And I'm looking a little better around here. Family time, self-care. Yes, I need my sleep, says Mindy. I do too. Christine says Qigong. I love these. These are fantastic. Okay, the last question is the future self version of me that I'm building for. So I just invite you to take a breath and picture her. Who do you want to identify? Before I was a 7-figure CEO, I would ask myself every morning, if I were a 7-figure CEO, how would I go about my day? What decisions would I make? What would I put in my body? And now that I'm a 7-figure CEO, I like to say, what would the happily married, even more fit version of me as a 7-figure CEO do today? I just put a sweet little date on the calendar for tomorrow with a new man. So, right, who are you? Pop it in the chat. What is the vision of you that pulls you forward? Are you a philanthropic CEO? Are you a 7-figure CEO? Are you a well-balanced entrepreneur who prioritizes self-care? Are you a retreat leader? Are you a well-resourced retreat leader? If any of these are resonating with you, pop it in the chat. Many of you resonate with being an abundant mystic. a happily married, successful, best-selling author. I love that. Janice, I'm going to add best-selling author to your. Janice, I hope maybe you'll come in here. I can help you get in here to Business Academy. I can help you write your book and become a best-selling author. A lot of our clients write books, and we can help you monetize books because you can put a program on the back end. Caroline Kelly says to be able to travel and be bi-coastal. Yes, a traveling bi-coastal entrepreneur. I love it. Kimberly says a well-balanced 7-figure retreat leader, lots of philanthropic leadership in here. Okay, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. One of the things I want to call you out on before we talk about profit is your age. Some of you in secret, in the dark corners or in the darker moments of your life, some of you might be thinking that you're too old. Some of you might be having thoughts that, gosh, it might be kind of too late to launch this business. Just give me a thumbs up on the screen if this has ever gone through your head. Okay. I see just a few of you there. Okay. So I want to talk about this. One of the reasons I brought JJ Virgin onto this summit, from the moment I actually met her in John Robbins' house, she came right up to me. She said, "You're Sage Levine. You help women entrepreneurs. We're going to have to be friends and support each other." She's amazing. She didn't say those exact words, but I was honored that she knew who I was. Since then, we've been collaborating. I've gotten a chance to be in Mexico with her and Florida with her. And JJ's one of the world's leading experts on women's health, high performance, and especially how do we continue to rock our businesses in midlife. She's also a multi-time best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author. She's a triple board certified nutrition expert. She's a visionary in health and business. She's behind all kinds of revolutionary concepts. She is here to stand for us aging powerfully. She's been on Dr. Phil, the Today Show. JJ is one of the women in my life who reminds me that I'm just getting started. Pop some hearts on the screen if you'd be willing to know deep down in yourself that you're just getting started. JJ has some really tangible, great tips for us on how to take care of our bodies. And when we come back, we're going to talk about money. Here we go. JJ Virgin, I'm so excited to be here with you. And I've been bragging about you this week. And oh my gosh, I mean, there's just so many things I want to ask you. And you've supported so many of the women in the summit that we've been hearing from this week to like maintain our health so that we can keep rocking business. And so where can you point these women who are here in the summit ready to rock business in terms of like really needing to commit to take care of their bodies?
Okay, so here's a funny story. So one of my clients years ago came to me because she had had a heart attack. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but the first sign of a heart attack for half the people who have one is death. Death. That's the first sign. And for women are all afraid of breast cancer when heart disease is the number one killer. So, okay, so she had this heart attack. She comes to me, she goes, "I am the sole support for my family. I have to do something." I'm like, "All right. Got it." So we outline her plan. I mean, talk about someone who's highly motivated, right? We outline the plan, and then I like have her be accountable to me, except she isn't. She ghosts me. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I check in. I don't hear back from her. Check in. Don't hear back from her. Then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not your babysitter. And a month later, she comes back and she goes, I'm so sorry. I was so busy." I go, "Well, wait a minute. You know, we had this whole plan. What happened?" She goes, "Oh, I had this whole list of things I had to do." And you know what's on the list, Sage? Getting life insurance. So she prioritized life insurance above like making sure she didn't die. Like, and I'm just listening to this going, this is crazy, but it's actually a very good example of how women will have this to-do list. And by the way, taking care of ourselves doesn't even make the list. Forget that it's not in the top 10. It's not even there. It's like we feel guilty doing it, you know? And so I look at our health. First of all, like you cannot go out there and rock your business if you're not rocking your health. You can't do it. You need the energy, you need the focus, you need the stamina, you need the mindset. So I think that you have to approach your health as your biggest asset in your business. Because it is, right? It's your biggest asset in your business. So think about how you would approach it as if it was your biggest asset in your business. You would take care of it, you know? If your business was racehorses, you would not have your racehorse stay up too late, you know, live on coffee, then have a bunch of wine to get rid of the coffee, crash, get up in the morning, have a croissant. Like you wouldn't do that to your horse. So don't do it to you. So just like we would take care of whatever our top asset is our business, we're going to take care of our health because that is our top asset. And it all starts with that vision of if you were in that perfect health for you, what would that look like? And what's it giving you so that you have those great whys behind you? You set your very specific goals.
Well, that's something you really taught me, the actual like structure, the accountability, and it's something I've always respected about you. And you basically speak to the obvious, which is like, right, when we have our health, we can have a million dreams. But if we don't have our health, we have one dream. And without our health, we're not going to be able to change lives. And you know, your journey, JJ, has always inspired me, from being a personal trainer to becoming an 8-figure entrepreneur, building several successful global companies, an incredible brand, an incredible supplement line, which I lean on every day. And I'll talk about that in a moment. Your journey with your son's health. Like, I know it hasn't always just been super easy peasy for you. So, can you share a couple hacks that can help us kind of navigate the reality of our stories as we're starting our businesses?
I think that there's two big ones. Number one, you must be willing to fail. You got to be willing to fail. If you look at the most successful people, they failed their way to success. And you want to fail forward fast. So you want to learn, iterate, right? And that's where you're really going to get that hot streak. I was just listening to a podcast interview on Diary of a CEO, and the guy was talking about hot streaks. Most people only have one in their life. And they get it because they've been trying all these different things and something finally works and they take off. Then they don't have any more hot streaks because they don't want to fail anymore. They want to stay comfortable. You just got to keep getting out there, you know, and like I look at it, Sage, and I have not hit my real peak yet. Like I'm still, and there was a time where things were stagnant because I was not willing to get out of my comfort zone and do some failing. So that's the big first one. The second one is mentors. My first big shift in my business came when I had an accidental mentor, and I didn't even realize I was her personal trainer, and she ended up changing my life. Totally, the entire trajectory of my life, which is so funny. And I remember walking down the beach with her, and she was like, "So you're in graduate school. Why are you in school?" And I go, "I want to be more successful." And she goes, "Oh, cool. What are you going to do when you graduate?" And I said, "I'm going to go get my PhD." And she goes, "Why?" And I go, "Because I want to be more successful." She goes, "You know, those two don't go together. You could, just because you have a PhD or a master's doesn't mean you're going to be more successful, right?" And like head scratcher to me and of this. But she started to teach me about trading time for money and like a whole different way of thinking of doing business. And it shifted everything for me. But that was when I was 30. I didn't have another mentor until 45. I don't know, for some reason, I didn't connect the dots between mentor equals fast success. And at 45, I got my next mentor, and that's when everything shifted again. And by the way, I always have mentors now. I'm like, there's two things, right? You have to have. Look at someone who's where you want to be. And here's the important thing with a mentor. Do not get a mentor who's a one-hit wonder. Or who has never even done the thing they're teaching. Right. That's called going to school, where you have the professors teaching on the thing they've never done. Right? Teaching theory. Theory doesn't work. Application, practice. We learn in real life, not because some teacher who read about it in a book is teaching it to you. So get someone who not only has done it successfully, they've failed and failed and done it and failed and done it and failed. So I always look for a mentor who's had successes and failures, who hasn't done one thing once and all of a sudden they're now teaching it. That's one of my irritations out there in the world.
Oof. Amen and a woman. Thank you for dropping some truth talk, hashtag truth. And I want to really just acknowledge your humility because, okay, how old are you now?
62.
And like to sit here after a bunch of best-selling books and 8-figure company and say, I haven't even hit my hot streak yet is like so inspiring to me. It's why I always listen when you open up your mouth. And I want to just really speak to those of us who have maybe been in business for a while and we're watching it change and the landscape is changing and we're calling on even deeper reserves to navigate midlife. And I think hormones play into this. And for you to sit here and really be in such a commitment to the best, like the best of your life is still ahead of you, I get super excited. And so, how can we continue to navigate the midlife journey? And what do we need to do? And I want to talk about your supplements too.
We are so lucky, that it's now 2026 and we're not sitting here in the 1990s. And then we're not being the victims of the Women's Health Initiative. Like, we're in such good space because menopause and midlife to me is the time for the biggest biological upgrade you'll ever get. It is the greatest thing. Like if someone had told me, hey, fast forward to 60, I would have. Like, I thought 50 was great. No, 50 was not great because I was still in the middle of going through menopause, like not there yet. When you get past it, everything's stable. It's the greatest thing ever because, all that hormonal flux craziness out the window. Totally controllable. It's fantastic. I look at all of the stuff as a biological upgrade. So if you're like heading into midlife and you're freaking out about it, nope, just get yourself a really good menopause practitioner to help you along the way. You do not need to suffer. And there's so many different things that you can do about this. So you don't need to suffer. Think of it as your superpower instead. Because really, I think for women, the fact that we can have babies, the fact that we have these great sex hormones, we are honestly, it really is our superpower. It really is. Now, things can happen during this time, like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone go down. That makes you more inflamed. That raises your cortisol. It makes your insulin go up. But you can offset all of this stuff. You can do hormone replacement, but you can also lift weights and eat an anti-inflammatory diet, right? Do some HIIT training. So there's so many different things you can do. Breath work for the cortisol. So whether you do hormones or not, if you know what's going on, knowledge is power. You can actually do a diet and lifestyle techniques with supplements to offset so much of it.
I get so excited by this because I'm like going through the hormone shifting now. And I'm also aware that as your supplements and my daily practices have helped me find balance again, it's also been a real opportunity for a spiritual awakening because if I'm on track with my purpose, I notice the whole thing also goes smoother. And I've really started to see midlife as like this time of awakening, and to have mentors in my life like you who have taken a few steps beyond me is so inspiring. And what I'm curious about is a lot of the women here are not only starting businesses, but they're caregivers and they're moms and they've got everything that they're balancing. And as we start talking about like actual supplements and let's get real for a little bit, like how do we support our bodies to actually do all these things that life is asking of us?
So I think the foundational, most important things are always going to be these 3 pillars. And that is, fuel, movement, and recovery. In the fuel place, I really focus on protein plus plants. So polyphenols and fiber from plants to feed your gut microbiome, and then protein to fuel your muscles, because as we age, starting around age 30, we start to lose muscle. Muscle changes everything. Obviously, if you want to build muscle, it doesn't happen just because you're eating correctly. You have to actually use your muscles. And one of the things that I really like about resistance training, I think it's one of the most important things women can do. And I still remember back in grad school, I was taught, don't have women lift weights until they lose the weight. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And back then there was maybe 5% of the women, 5% of people in the weight room were women. Now it's only 10, maybe 20%. It's still too low. Too low, women. We need to get in there and take over. Bump those big dudes out of the way. So, when you lift weights, not only is it improving your metabolism, it's also teaching your body that you can do hard things, right? Like
Right.
this is the greatest things. It's showing your body you can do hard things. Of course, the recovery side of it is super important. And I feel like as women, this is what we don't prioritize enough, is getting good sleep, doing some meditation, some breath work, some things like that. So doing that. And then if I were going to prioritize supplements, the foundational supplements, D3 with K2, fish oil, magnesium, that trifecta, I rarely see someone that doesn't need those. I'll look at an omega-3 index, a 25 hydroxy vitamin D, and a magnesium red blood cell and RBC magnesium. I just see people low. Those are the classic low ones. And when those are low, your hormones won't work well, your brain won't work well, your bones won't remineralize. So all these things are super important. Beyond that, and especially for women who tend to not get enough protein. And as we age, we need more protein, not less, right?
So JJ, you just rattled off a list of everything that I take and I tell my clients to take: the D, the fish oil, the magnesium. This one's one of my faves. Can you tell people about this one? And then we'll get you guys links to all these so you guys can get these for a discount.
So this was the other one. When I think about a supplement protocol, supplements are supposed to supplement, right? However, I always start with what are you missing that you should be getting from your diet? So that's why I always go, okay, like omega-3s, vitamin D, magnesium. But the other one that people don't think about that they're not getting from their diet is creatine. So, and women need it more than men because we have lower tissue stores than men. Creatine is stored in your muscle, in your gonads, and in your brain. We don't have gonads. We don't have creatine there, right? And so we have less muscle than men. I think we have bigger brains than men. So that's the only thing. But we have less creatine. And creatine is mission critical. And what I will tell you is when I first started promoting creatine, when I started to look at creatine, I go, this is the ultimate midlife women's supplement. It's going to help you work out harder, recover better. It's going to help you with brain fog, with depression. It can even help with skin and skin wrinkling. I go, this is it. Like this is the holy grail. I'm going to get everybody on it. And I was using creatine monohydrate because it's where all the research is. And I got more blowback than I've ever gotten on anything I've ever done, with people going, I feel bloated. And I'm like, just keep going, Well, a woman feels bloated. She does not keep going. So energy, focus, sleep deprivation, jet lag. This is my jet lag. Like when I shift time zones a lot. And this is how I do it now, is with using this, my sheatine, my creatine HCl with magnesium and taurine.
This is the first time I've been able to get creatine in me without bloating. And
I love that. So
I haven't had a chance to tell you that. And I just want to put in a plug because some of my clients tease me about how many supplements I take. And I'm like, yeah, you're not running a multi-million-dollar company. And when we need to actually
I'm a racehorse
stay on our game, like I think we don't realize these women that you've been hearing from this week, we are treating ourselves kind of like performance athletes. And
we are, but we are performance athletes. That's what we are. We're just performance athletes running a company rather than running a race. It is a race. It's just a race that doesn't ever end. It's got sprints in it. It's got long distance,
and it's firing us on all levels. And JJ, I just really appreciate you offering our audience, some kind of behind the scenes links to get some little bit of discount.
We have some amazing dealio.
Yeah.
And I have a great guide that I also created that explains what creatine does. So we'll get you the guide too.
Okay. So we'll get links to all of that in your resource guide. And I'm just excited because when we start feeling better, we are more connected to our inspiration. And when we're connected to our inspiration, we can be the leaders and attract the clients that are looking for us. And so to JJ's point, I'm excited to have you put self-care at the top of your CEO description. And I know that you're also going to be including that Win It exercise snack challenge.
This is so cool. So yes, here's the thing. There's there's two things that make all the difference and will determine whether it's your business, whether it's your health, whether you're successful or not. Number one, you commit. And then number two, you're consistent. That's it. Those are the secrets.
Well, isn't that so great? Because the simplest things are the most powerful. And I couldn't agree more. It's commitment and being consistent, which means recommitment, because some of us are in that recommitment phase. And JJ, thank you for being someone who is always out in front and shining the light on what it means to be a thriving, healthy, well-resourced woman entrepreneur. Love you.
Love you.
Thank you all for loving up JJ on that interview. And there is a link to her supplements. We get 15% off for the next 30 days. So pop a yes in the chat if you are someone who might want to take advantage of that. And, there's a lot of amazing supplements out there. Pop some hearts on the screen if you have realized that you're someone whose body does better with supplements. Now, I am not a doctor. Please be sure you consult all your own medical professionals when you are making these decisions. But what I do know is that the food that is grown here on planet Earth in most countries does not have the true mineral content, that our bodies really need. Pop some hearts on the screen if you've studied anything about soil health and organic farms. And, our bodies need a little bit more than really what exists in even really good high quality food. And for me, I push my body. And so this is my favorite one of JJ's supplements, although I take a lot of her supplements. And, when we find somebody who really, truly is doing the work to make sure that her stuff is being formulated with a lot of intention and a lot of pure, organic ingredients, there's a link to get 15% off. Ocean's got great supplements as well. So you can check those out on your resource page. And I'll just show you guys real quick. We can drop a link to that in the chat one more time. But you guys can read all about creatine here, especially for women who are really kind of pushing their bodies. The Sheatine for me is a much nicer formulation. And when you go to JJ's page here, when you go through this link, this is actually a hyperlink here. You can use the code SAGE15. Be sure you use this code to get your 15% off. And that will get you your summit deal on whatever you want to maybe stock up on. But this particular supplement for me really works because I need creatine because I push myself, but most creatine makes me bloated. So please be careful because you want to make sure you're only putting things in your body that is right for you. So consult your doctor, but a lot of this stuff is all food-based. And a lot of my friends are really benefiting. And I'm excited to support your bodies in all the ways. Anything to add, Deborah?
I think that the wisdom of really owning that we are high performance athletes, business owners have to keep having deep respect for what it takes to be who we're here to be. And I think that it's one of women's edges to keep leaning into prioritizing, taking good care of ourselves as we just do life, build a business, be the ones who are running families and managing kids and parents. And so many of the women in our community are in the sandwich generation, right? We're women who have kids and aging parents at the same time and building businesses. So, if you're feeling, I'm seeing you, some of you are nodding and raising your hands. So this is just ultimately a petition to please put yourself at the top of the list and keep asking that question, what else do I need so that I can keep being who I'm here to be? Because life is going to keep inviting you into opportunities as you build your business and you get more visible, more opportunities are going to come your way. And we want you to have the inner resource to be able to say yes, please, and thank you to more clients, to getting that group program in place, right? So that you can keep building your business. So Sage, I love that you brought JJ and her vitality and her stand for us women leaders. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. One of the things I've really realized is you cannot put a price tag on mental clarity. I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those days where you just couldn't get your brain to work. Those days have made me double down and triple down on several things. Taking care of my body, but also equally as important to manage my anxiety is to be prioritizing the right things in my life. And I think one of the opportunities that we have here today, as we're in this conversation around stress and anxiety, and as I was watching the thread, I saw at least 14 or 15 of you speak to the anxiety and the stress. I want to speak very carefully and use my words really respectfully with what I'm about to say. There's a lot of things we could be putting into our bodies right now that can actually kind of numb us to the impulses that we need to be receiving from our bodies. And one of the things I've learned in working with thousands of women and helping them build really successful coaching and healing and mentorship businesses, authors and yoga teachers and therapists and naturopathic doctors and psychotherapists, our bodies are giving us a signal when we're off track, especially when it comes to our purpose. And that can actually manifest like anxiety, because it's stressful to not have money coming into our lives. It's stressful to actually go unconscious to what we're capable of, the resources that we need to pay our bills. So I just invite us all to take a breath into the signals that our bodies send us, and be willing to potentially pop a heart on the screen if you're willing to trust this like precious vehicle, this temple that is taking you through life. This temple has knowledge and wisdom and deep, deep, deep awarenesses. And one of the best things I think we can all do is to actually pay attention to the money. Where is it coming from? And what is our plan? And so I want to talk about where your money's coming from. And I'd like to invite you into kind of a next level of awareness of what would it be like to get really clear on how much money you want to have coming in the next 90 days and where is it going to come from? And so we will be moving toward that in the CTA. You'll see that the CTA, the final bonus CTA for today, is going to be about you really kind of orienting toward a monthly profit goal. Before we get into the nitty gritty around this, Deborah, anything to add?
I think when we started on day one of the conversations you and I had was around presence. And I think that's what you just really invited us all into on the path of building our businesses, is that presence with ourselves, and it's presence with our business and presence with our goal. And there's so many nuggets that each of you are going to walk away with from this week. And I hope that inside yourself, you are also finding the invitation and finding the desire to stop and take a breath and slow down and get connected with yourself, your plan. What do you need to be able to take that next action step so that we can really keep staying on purpose and nourished, right? Because the being on purpose is nourishing. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy when we get ourselves hooked up to the kind of train of our vision and our purpose and our actual mattering, that we as the leaders of our businesses are really important. And so many of us haven't on the path in our families of origin, in our schools, in our communities. In some way, we haven't actually felt like we really matter. And this is your moment. This is your opportunity to take a breath. And if you're willing, I want to come to gallery for a minute and see all your beautiful faces. If you're willing to just take a breath into owning, like, I matter. Put your hands on your own body somewhere and just taking a big breath into you matter, your life, your purpose, your medicine, the unique journey you've been on, what you know about what it takes. Nobody else can do what you can do when you have the opportunity to be one-on-one with a person or one to many with people. And so one more nice big breath and just tell yourself, you're muted. You can say it out loud, nice and loud. I matter.
Yes, you do. I love seeing your mouths moving. You do matter. And nobody is going to prioritize you the way that you can prioritize you. We have evolved to a moment where we actually can thrive without a husband, without a caretaker. That's not to say that we don't get to lean into the people who love us the most, but pop some hearts on the screen if you're ready to go to that next level of self-care, that next level of expression, that next level of contribution. I love that, Deborah.
Yeah. And next level of sovereignty, right?
Yeah.
That's part of the magic of getting committed, devoted to
Yeah.
fulfilling our purpose, because then we're really on a sovereign path and
Yeah.
we get to be in charge of our earning potential. And when we've got a plan and we've got a strategy and we've got a goal and then a
Yeah.
next level goal,
Yeah.
now we can actually really keep fine tuning what's the action step, what's needed.
Yeah. Yeah. JJ and I went on to talk more about mentorship, and you can watch her whole interview on the page. But um, one of the things we really landed on is that there's no way we would have the money or the bank accounts or the life or the philanthropic opportunities that we've had without mentorship. And one of the things that JJ and I really resonated with was what Natalie's saying. She says, I get a lot of ideas. She just popped this into the chat. I get a lot of ideas. I've got to figure out how to focus. Like she says, I should focus on one and succeed. So you pop some thumbs up on the screen. If you also sometimes you get a lot of ideas, you've got a lot of inspirations, and so that's one of the reasons to, I think, hire the right mentor for you. To JJ's point, don't hire a one-hit wonder, right? If you want to build a business with speaking and that enrolls high-ticket clients, we may be a match for you. If you want to build a different kind of business, if you want to, become a stock market investor, find a mentor for that. Choose your lane, because if you don't know where you're going, any path will take you there. And I don't know about y'all, but like I am a visionary. If left to my own devices, I will come up with a new idea every day. I have 2 mentors. I'm in a group program right now. Deborah and I are both in a group program with a mentor. There's several hundred of us. Deborah and I are studying every week what that looks like, because Women Rocking Business is going to the next level. And I have my own personal mentor that I meet with every single week. And that is how I have the business I have. And so, for whoever this resonates with, of course, we would love to support you. And Natalie, I just love how transparent you are about what it's like to be a visionary. We are like little animals. We need someone holding us to our goals and in that structure, right? Lisa, I love you. I love that we're speaking your language here.
I want to just point to a comment I saw from Christine, who says, what if you don't care about making money beyond what the business needs? And so I want to invite us all as women to consider that if you are somebody who's having a thought similar to that, that I suspect that it's also true that there's some part of you that's actually wanting to contribute and serve and make the world a better place in some way. And that's the beauty of the whole philanthropic opportunity that having a business also creates for you. So not everybody wants to be on the path to build a business and make money, but for some of you, the place where you can expand into is what else is possible when you have the business and you are making that money. Is it about stopping sex trafficking, feeding children, saving the planet, housing people who are unhoused, right? There are so many different passions that speak to people, places that we care, and where we see that other people matter. And we want to be in that loop of contributing and serving in that way. So making money doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't make you better or worse than anyone. It just creates opportunity and possibility. And maybe you want to just have a certain amount of money coming in and you're happy with that. And then you can go volunteer. And that's beautiful too, right? The beautiful opportunity that's right here for us is we're all sovereign women at choice. And so the question really is, what choice are we going to make moment to moment?
Yeah. I see several of you are asking in the chat about mentorship. I'll speak to that in a moment. Mindy's asking if we know of anybody who can help you launch a directory, Mindy. We do have women on our virtual campus here that have a directory that they manage as part of their business. So definitely do reach out and chat with one of our coaches about that. I'll introduce our coaches in a few minutes here, but it looks like, we opened up seats in Business Academy that you can apply for if you want to speak on video or in a Zoom room or in your local community, and then offer high ticket transformational programs of any kind. If you're a coach, if you're thinking of starting a coaching business, if you're a practitioner, if you're a psychotherapist, if you're a naturopath, you want to have clients coming to you through the internet. If you want to lead retreats, that is our specialty. That is what we do. We've been doing it for 13 years. We've launched thousands and thousands of women. Some of you heard some of their stories yesterday. I will put the link in the chat to go ahead and grab an interview with one of our coaches. That is a complimentary opportunity for you. If you are serious about checking out Business Academy, we did decide to open 18 seats this week. 9 of you have already been accepted. It was 8 this morning. Now it's 9. We have several more of you that are saying you want in. So if you are, very serious about the possibility of connecting with one of our coaches, we've got some time slots available for you tomorrow. And I do recommend you grab those spots sooner rather than later, because like I said, we actually are half sold out for this month. We did sell out in October, November, December, I guess January and February. We sell out every month. We've been able to open up 18 seats. We do only work with a handful of clients each month because we're very, very committed to getting our clients into that 6-figure mark. But I want to talk about the way these businesses grow, because this has been my life for 13 years. I have fallen in love with the process of helping women who have gifts and dreams go out there and package those gifts and make a lot of money. This is what I love to do. I get super fired up. And so here's kind of how these businesses grow. When you're getting started, this is where you are going to want to be sure that you're working with people. We train our clients to actually design a beta program, a high ticket program, and you want to be working with people, even if you take a couple of beta clients, because beta clients are going to help you allow your body of work to unfold. And then from there, you'll be able to use those success stories that you can help beta clients get as testimonials. Pop some hearts on the screen if you'd be more confident to be able to sell your services if you had some testimonials. So we systematically help our clients get testimonials. We have a process for doing that. A lot of our clients come into our program, and in 14 days, they have some amazing client testimonials that they can use to continue to promote themselves. And then we teach our clients to package their programs into $2,000 packages or $5,000 packages. And you can see that in order to get to your next $10,000 in your business, you could enroll 5 clients at $2,000 or 2 clients at $5,000. And that would be an opportunity to have a $10,000, income bump. And so that can happen pretty quickly, right? It could happen by just enrolling a couple of clients. And then your next 50,000, if you've never made 50,000 yet, could come from 10 clients investing $5,000 or 5 clients investing $10,000 in a transformational program. Now, I want to say a couple of things. I want to remind you that this is not you just randomly putting a price tag on a program. Are you guys picking up what I'm laying down? This is about you systematically designing a month-by-month process, whether it's a 90-day program, a 6-month program, where you are committed to actually supporting your clients to get amazing results. And I'm curious, pop some hearts on the screen if throughout this week you've been opening yourself up to imagine yourself taking a group of people through an even more succinct transformational journey. Pop some hearts if you can feel yourself opening up to those clients. I noticed that a couple of you asked questions. Forgive me, it wasn't Mindy that asked about the directory. I think it was Heidi. Anyway, whoever is launching a directory, my coaches can help you. I think that was Heidi. Thanks, Mindy. Janice says, in the Academy program, are you helping women look at their current assets and help them design their offer? Exactly, Janice. That's what we're doing. We have clients come into the Academy who are brand new, who have never started a business before. And we have clients that come in and have already made their first $50,000 or $100,000. And then you, if that's you, you get automatically plugged into either our leverage track or our Lotus track. And on the next slide, you'll see that at that $100,000 mark, a lot of our clients are getting to the point where they are enrolling 20 clients in a group program at, say, $5,000 each, or they're enrolling maybe 10 clients in a $10,000 program. And that's where the money can start to add up quite quickly. You heard from Kathleen yesterday and Sandy Gee and Trisha, and they're seeing their income go up, up, up every month. You know, they're commonly having months where they make $25,000 a month, $50,000 a month, and they are just loving what they're doing. Deborah, you want to add to this and just kind of lay out like how this can look and what we might charge per month? I want to lay it out per month because, you know, we could imagine how much money we need every year, but those dollar amounts can start to get a little ambiguous in our minds. You know, pop a yes in the chat if you are somebody who at least kind of has a sense of what your monthly expenses are. And pop a yes in the chat if you're somebody who really kind of likes to be able to pay for things monthly as well, right? Sometimes it can be a big nut to try to pay for something expensive up front. And pop one more heart onto the screen if you are willing to get really tangible with the numbers, because if we just keep saying, I want to make more and more and more and more money, the universe doesn't really know what to give us, right? So remember, ask and you shall receive, right? But we got to actually know what we want. What would you add, Deborah? And we can dive in.
Yeah, I would say the other thing that I'm aware of is super important here, just as a point of clarity for all of you, is when Sage is talking about a program, that program could serve an individual, and you could be offering that program one-on-one, or you could be offering that program to a group, right? So for those of you who are just getting started, I want to just encourage you to let yourself rest into the possibility that you could create something that's repeatable, that you're not actually having to just do emergent work with people. And for many of you, you've been creating kind of, we like to call it content in a closet, and you've already got a lot of material that you know can help people. And when we create a deliberate arc of transformation for people and can articulate why someone would want to walk through step by step and what they're going to get from it, it actually makes selling it possible, right? So for all those of you who've been frustrated, like I've created all this stuff and it's not selling, we actually can walk you through the step by step to do that, right? That's what your program is. So that's what I want to walk you through is this map. So let's pop up the slide, Izzy, if you would. All right. So let's just start with, for some of you, you might have a goal of $8,000 a month, right? You know that $8,000 a month is going to make a big difference in your life. So how would we get there? If you also know that you've got time in your calendar, you could serve 10 clients, right? 10 one-on-one clients, or you've got room to put one group on, you could put 10 people in there. And if each of those people was paying you $797 a month, right? That would put you at an approximate income of about $8,000. And I know for some of you, you haven't even started your business yet, and you are just getting started, and you'd be thrilled to just be getting your first few clients at maybe more like $500 a month. You'd be excited to have a couple of people paying you a couple $100s a month. Maybe you've got 4 people paying you $397 a month, right? And that's $1,200 or $1,600. But I just want you to see this map. So letting yourself take for a moment, how many clients do you want? And then how much money are you thinking to charge? Can you imagine charging someone $597? Maybe you're more comfortable thinking about $397. So just pop in the chat. What are you thinking? If you were going to do a program, let's say you were inviting somebody to invest in a 6-month program with you to transform that struggle that we've been talking about, what do you imagine you could be charging for your program? $397, $497, $597. Alana, I know you. You are living in the magical realms. $333. That makes so much sense to me. Some of you are saying you know that you could be charging $1,000 a month. Helena or Helen, $497 a month. Michelle's ready to be charging $997. Barbara, $597. Beautiful. I see Rachel's got both $397 and $497 options. So good. So take a big breath and let yourself feel now, okay, this is a 6-month program. And if Nikisha is charging $1997 a month for a 6-month program, that's $12,000 she is bringing from her program. So powerful. I love it. So let's look at this next slide because I want to talk about kind of what it takes, the path to create this sustainable income. And let's just look at this like couple of 3 big steps. We know that in order to create the sustainable income, you've got to actually strategically, deliberately be creating and delivering a talk that's actually pointing to the expensive problem that your clients know that they're struggling with. And that way you can confidently position your high ticket offer. We also know that in order to be successful with your business and create the sustainable income, it's really helpful to get support to reverse engineer your high ticket program into a fully built out client attracting funnel, right? The pathway that your clients are going to take to learn about you and really start to know you, like you, trust you, and take those next steps so that you can be filling your events with your ideal potential clients. And then when you get that funnel dialed in and you start enrolling clients, when you enroll those first 5 clients and then your next 10 clients, and you're selling a $5,000 or a $10,000 program, that's actually the path to getting to 6 figures. And that's actually the pathway where you get to watch your business grow and you can start to leverage what you've created. Sage, what would you add?
I would just add that this is what we do for those of you that have questions about what we're doing here on our virtual campus all year. And one of the things that I know to be true is that no woman wants to go chasing clients. And so we are on a mission to be sure that you can continue to get support, whether it's here or somewhere else, to be really clear on the outcome you are providing. Pop some hearts on the screen if you already got a little bit of clarity around the results that you bring, the gap that you close, the reality that you help people overcome, the vision and the goal that you help people move toward. And, for those of you that are wanting to go further, we would love to have the honor of supporting you with that. There was a question in the chat about why do a lot of people charge dollar amounts that end in 7 or 9? Now, interestingly enough, if you do the research, AI and the research will tell you that there is psychology behind ending your investment amount in a 7 or maybe a 9. There's something about the number 7 that people just are used to price points. There's something psychologically where it registers for people as a little bit of a discount of some sort, or some people would say like, marketing specialists would say that, that last number 7, it's kind of a sexy, lean number. Now, here's what I would say to you. It's more aligned that you, Bridget, you, Maria, you, Jenny, you, Vortexa, that you are aligned with a dollar amount that you're charging. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? When you're aligned, and way more important to me, is that you've built the value into that program. Is that helpful, you guys? Right? We are not selling air here. And so wherever you go to get that support, that mentorship, to really build the value into your program, I think that's where we want to keep pointing you. And so I'm going to invite you to consider what is the monthly profit goal that would pull you forward. What is the profit goal that would have you say, if my business could generate me $10,000 a month, we'll skip to slide 54 in a moment. If my business could generate me $12,000 a month, if my business could generate me $6,000 a month, what is that goal that you need to generate so that you can feel safe and grounded and supported in your business? What is that number? I'm going to invite you to consider that and pop it into the chat. What is that monthly profit goal that would pull you forward, right? Because before we get you making $100,000 a month, right, we want to just keep stair-stepping you. One of the big things that we teach our clients on our virtual campus is if you've never charged $500 a month, right, then you may not want to start out charging $5,000 a month. Raise your hand if you're picking up what I'm laying down. We'd rather you stair step your way into success, right? To really get, like, I am a school teacher. This is about being grounded and practical. This is not about an airy-fairy business. This is about you actually building something that you could lean into for the next 10 or 20 or 25 or 30 years if you want. So we'll pop up that slide, because here's what I know is that when we can claim your income goal with the sentence, I am so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now making how much per month, then we get to also link it to what are you going to contribute to the world? And so that would be my next question for you. And we'll pop that in the chat. Misty says 15,000 a month. Donna says 12,000 a month. Kathy says 10,000 a month. Kendall's ready for 20,000 a month. Nadine Grace is ready for $100,000 a month. I love it, Nadine. I hope you've made 10. And if you want to go quick, you know where to find me. Dr. Zulmara says 12,000 a month. Okay. So I want to give a shout out to John Assaraf. He's one of the bonus men behind the Women Who Rock Business Summit. Raise your hand if you know John. John has a morning routine. John is one of our speakers who did a bonus interview. So I definitely recommend you go watch his interview on the All Access page. But John knows that if we can proclaim to the universe very clearly what we want, and we infuse that number with the energy of gratitude, pop one more heart on the screen if you can feel the opportunity to infuse your number with the energy of gratitude right here, right now. I am already so happy and grateful that it is happening now. I am proclaiming it now. That the resources and the opportunities and the support to help you reach that goal, it is going to continue to show up. And so I invite you right now to go ahead and fill in your bonus CTA on page 21 of your workbook. And some of you may want to pop it in the Facebook group before the end of the day, before the end of tomorrow, because what we know is that when you continue to orient toward one thing that you know is going to pull you forward in your life, your bank account, your financial security, that's when things get really good. And in the final few moments of our summit together, we've got about 10 more minutes. I want to invite you, if it feels right, to go ahead and just rub your hands together. Just rub your hands together right now. Just take that monthly goal, that 10,000 a month, that 12,000 a month, that $25,000 a month. And I invite you to just put that energy of what is it that you're grateful for. I see some notes in the chat. I want to be able to give back. I want to be able to give back to the girls. I want to travel to Bali. I see take my family on a Disney cruise. I see monthly body work. I see weekly body work. I see I'm going to hire a personal chef. What are you happy and grateful for now that? And I'm going to invite you to just release your hands out into this beautiful Zoom room of almost 300 powerful women and all the women that are going to be watching the recording. And we are infusing your future success, your future goal with all of that goodness, all of that deep knowingness that we can go so much further when we go together. And so, sisters, Deborah, we have a grand prize winner to announce.
We do.
Do we know who it is, or do we need a few minutes to confirm?
We know who it is, and I want to just give a shout out to our daily winner for CTA 4 first. So let's do that, and then we are gonna, yes, there we have it. I loved this post, so congratulations to all of you who played in CTA 4. And I love Debbie's post here, just celebrating the creativity. She is supporting people to create in the world, bringing her own creativity. Such a cool piece of art you created there, Debbie.
So
And
cool.
just congratulations for rocking out your talk. And we have a grand prize winner because we have been doing a visibility contest this week. And Sage, do you want to talk about all the things that the grand prize winner is going to receive?
Well, I'm just excited to get you access to our profitable speaker training, our speaker superpower training, an hour one-on-one session with the one and only Deborah Artura. Deborah, as you guys can tell, Deborah trains a lot of our classes here on campus at Business Academy. At the Business Academy, we do not believe in sending you guys to a bunch of videos. Now, yes, we have video trainings on all the things, but pop a yes in the chart if you're somebody, pop a yes in the chat if you're somebody who you don't want to have to go watch a bunch of videos on your own. I know one of the biggest questions that came in was, do we get live support at the Business Academy? You get live support 2 or 3 times a week. And so me, Deborah, Megan, the trainers, Desiree, and Cheyenne, you're going to see us. We open up the Zoom room 2 or 3 times a week to walk you through everything you need to know to grow a business. So that was just one thing I wanted to make sure you got the answer to that question. I know there's a handful of you still considering applying. This is not a training company where we expect you to do it on your own. This is experiential, hand-holding, live every single week. Now, as you step into this next chapter, and as we wrap up the summit, we're going to be opening up the VIP room in about 10 minutes. And the winner of this grand prize is going to get to spend an hour with Deborah. Deborah's supported so many women with our offers. And you're going to get access to one of our 3 of our shorter courses. And then I'm excited because this woman who played all week long, who is our grand prize winner, was also so supportive of so many other women in the community. Deborah, I think we can play her video.
Oh, I would love it. Let's do it.
Hello there. My name is Nadine Grace, and I support women who once struggled with an eating disorder, women who have always had a deep stirring in their soul because they know they're here for something so magnificent. They know they're here to shine their light and make the world a better place. However, they can't seem to move forward. They feel stuck in their lives and they don't know why. So I help them to hone in on their identity. I help them to realize.
Pop some hearts for Nadine. Is she here? Is Nadine here? Can we bring you up? Can we love you up? Oh my goodness, Nadine.
I'm here.
Nadine, your commitment to helping women transform eating disorders,
Yes,
your heart, your passion, the way you supported this community has been so beautiful all week long. We've had our eye on you.
I'm so sorry for the ugly cry.
Oh, you never have to apologize for crying in the Women Rocking Business room.
This means so much to me. You guys
I'm
have
so
been
proud of
so amazing. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I'm not wearing makeup. I lied.
Oh, no. You know, we don't need to apologize in the Women Rocking Business room.
Oh my God, this means so much to me. So much, like so much. For so many years, I've played small. I've played just hiding behind the camera and hiding my gifts. And I know that I was born to bring something amazing to the world. And last year, I said, the ending of last year, I said, fuck this. Excuse my language. I'm tired of this shit. I'm ready to stand in my greatness. And bring my gifts to the world. And this means so freaking much. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Thank
so
you.
welcome. You're
Thank you.
so welcome. Thank you for supporting women with I mean, the eating disorder, it's so prevalent and it's so needed. And we're so excited to help you take this message out there to the next level and find these women and find their parents. I personally know a couple of moms whose daughters have struggled, and I know that they would have pretty much paid any price for the right guidance. And so we're so excited to help you build this out.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank you. This means
oh,
so much to me. Thank you.
oh,
Thank
oh,
you.
I'm going to cry. All right. I invite you all to hold your hands up to Nadine. And as you hold up your hands to Nadine, I invite you to hold out your hands to your future clients as well. And Nadine, we are surrounding you with the women, the moms, the parents, the dads who are going to be looking for you as a solution to a problem that's so prevalent. And sending sparkle and love. Nadine, you're so brave. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for your journey around eating in your body as well.
Thank you so much. I love you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh, we love you back. Deborah, I never have enough tissues.
I feel you over there, Sage. I feel so touched by Nadine's passion and clarity and readiness, and the way that she is standing for it being her time. And so wonderful, Nadine, that we get to be part of your story and help you get your message out there and make the difference you're here to make.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't believe it, but in the next 5 or 8 minutes or so, we're going to be wrapping up the summit and inviting the VIPs to head over to the VIP room. So I'm going to invite you all to take a deep breath. What an absolutely incredible week it's been. I do not take it for granted that we got to spend this week together. Each one of you is so precious. You have a gift that nobody else can give, truly. There's a whole section of my book around your life as a PhD program. And you really have been in a PhD program in your life that's prepared you to reach a certain woman, a certain client, a certain human, a certain child, a certain man. And nobody else can do it like you do it. They're out there looking for you. It doesn't matter if there's other people doing something similar. It doesn't matter. That just means there's a market history of investing. There's people out there that are only going to be able to hear it from you. And so I want to invite you to go over to the Facebook group, because what would also really support is if we could have a place where we're also harvesting our takeaways. So pop a thumbs up on the screen if you'd be willing to post your biggest takeaway in the Facebook group. That way we can really track your takeaways. We can celebrate you. And if you head over to the Facebook group, there's a post here that says, "We did it. Please let us know your biggest takeaways." So I invite you to head over to that post, and Roxy just put the link to the Facebook group in the chat, and let us know what it is that you are taking away from this moment. It's been such an honor to spend this week. I also want to let you know that we have the access page is going to be up through Sunday night. So pop some hearts on the screen if you're going to be taking advantage of those videos for the next 3 days. It does, the cost of the summit is considerable. We spend tens of thousands of dollars to host the summit. We're spending, thousands of dollars to make sure the tech support is happening on that page. And we spend money to host those videos on that page. So we really want to leave those up for you for the next few days. So thank you for taking advantage of that while we have it. The Facebook group will be up through, when is the Facebook group up through, Deborah?
Through Sunday.
Through Sunday night. So you can keep connecting with each other through the weekend. And I do want to also invite you to head over to the All Access page. Izzy, if you could pop that up, and remind everybody of a couple things. So the Facebook group's going to be up through Sunday night. And then Izzy, will you point out those free gifts as well, those summit free gifts? That's where you can download some really incredible resources from the speakers. And there's some just great things to take advantage of there. And if you have not grabbed your 3-day event ticket to come back with us in April, I think this would be one of the most powerful things you could gift yourself if you haven't done that already. Pop some hearts on the screen if you just feel better knowing you're going to be back with your sisters in April. pop some hearts on the screen if you're already looking forward to it. And I am too. I can't even tell you enough. Just knowing we get to be together again makes me so happy because I get anxiety separation. And you can also see that on that all access page on the far right, there's a link to check out the Business Academy journey if you want and apply. It looks like we're down to about 7 or 8 seats in there, and it would just be an honor to get to support you all year long. And I do want to say that our coaches are actually very skillful at helping you understand where the resources might come from. So if you're over there going, but this is probably not for me because I have never thought about joining something like this before, give me a thumbs up if that's you. Like, I would love to do something like this, but I have never really thought about joining something like this before. I see several of you actually holding up your physical thumbs. I just want to say to you, our coaches are actually really skillful at helping you understand how it could work. Okay, so we really do recommend that if you're interested and you want to have an honest conversation about how it could look and where resources can come from, to go ahead and grab a spot to chat with the coaches. They're really incredible, and they're very, very good at helping you think through it and making sure you're making the right decision for you, and looking at where the resources really could come from. And so I just want to do a quick review. Izzy, if it's easy to pop up slide 56, I just want to say we've had the last week to help you really land in your 6-figure speaker message, to rock out a sales framework for conversations that you can have with your potential clients. You've gotten a chance to consider your thought leadership archetype. You've drafted your client attracting talk. And today we've helped you really set out some intentions around your profit and your monthly profit. And it's just been an incredible journey to be on with every single one of you. And then I want to remind you on the next slide, Izzy, if you can click through that, we've been really just hearing from some incredible speakers. And again, if you missed one of the speakers, you can go and watch those this weekend. And I do recommend that for those of you who have joined VIP, that you join us on Saturday. We'll be live at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's 2 p.m. Eastern for a bonus training. So many of you are really wanting to understand how to make those talks work for you, how to turn your talk into high ticket clients. And so I'm going to invite you to reach your arms up overhead if it feels right. And just give yourself a little hug for participating in a 5-day transformational business building journey. And I'm so excited to see more of you on Saturday. And I'm so excited to see many of you in the VIP room. In just a few minutes, I'm going to invite you to click on gallery mode in the upper right-hand corner. And I'm just going to invite you, if it feels right, to send one more Women Rocking Business Sparkle through the screen for all of the live streamers. We're going to say goodbye to the live streamers. We love you.